What's up, YouTube? I hope each and every one of you guys are healthy and enjoying life today. In today's video, I'm going to be reviewing the 2024 Kia K5 GT. Huge thank you to Shin over at Safford Kia of Manassas, Virginia for allowing me to do this video for you guys today. If you are interested in this particular K5 GT or any Kia product, I'll be sure to have Kevin's information on screen as well as in the description box down below. But with that said, let's get into the video. All right, like usual, first I'm going to talk about the exterior and the performance. So like I said, this is a 2024 Kia K5 GT, and this particular one has been painted in the $445 glacial white pearl exterior paint, which looks very nice with all the gloss black accents that you get with the GT trim level. Now, speaking of the GT trim level, this is the top trim level that you can get on the K5, and essentially it gives you sporty looks, a sporty drive, and more power as compared to the other K5 trim levels. But basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with the headlights, then I'm going to work away down and around into the back end. But again, like I said, I'm starting with the headlights. So as standard with the GT, you get LED reflector headlights with high beam assist, as well as amber LED daytime running lights, LED turn signals, and LED fog lights. Now, taking a step back and working my way to the left, you can see at the center of your front hood, you get that silver Kia logo right there. And then when you come down just a little bit, you get the hyper silver front grille, which on camera looks more gloss black, but basically Kia calls this hyper silver. I would consider it more of like a gray, but anyways, I'm not going to fight with Kia on that. And then you also get a satin black lower grille and a gloss black trim piece that connects your gloss black outer grills. So again, this is the gloss black trim piece in question, connects to both of your gloss black outer grills that do house your LED fog lights, by the way. One thing I really like about the GT trim level is that you do get specific front and rear sporty bumpers that just give this, you know, the sporty design that you're looking for when looking for a sporty sedan. So basically, you get GT specific front and rear sporty bumpers that have a really nice angular and sporty design to them, and they are definitely 703 speed approved. One thing I did want to mention, if you wanted a couple options that this vehicle does not have, I'm basically going to highlight the $4,200 GT1 package. And essentially what you get with the GT1 package, at least up here at the front end, would include a 360 degree view camera system, LED projector headlights, and forward facing sensors. So if any of those three things that I just mentioned pique your interest, you might want to look into getting the GT1 package. But coming down the side, as standard with the GT trim level, you do get a sport tuned suspension, as well as these 19-inch gloss black wheels with the machine face. These wheels look awesome. And then also these wheels are wrapped in two 45/40 Pirelli P0 all-season tires. Try to give you a view of the tread pattern on these tires as best that I can. I feel like these tires would do pretty well on a back road, as well as handle rain pretty well as well, in addition to that. And then also with the GT trim level, you get GT specific brakes, which are basically bigger brakes, and you get the red GT script on them. I'm sorry, it's not the best view, but that's kind of as good as I can do. So again, GT trim level gets GT specific brakes that are bigger than all the other trim levels with the K5, even including the GT line. With the GT, you get gloss black side view mirrors with integrated turn signals, and as standard, these side view mirrors are heated, manual folding, and you get your blind spot monitoring on the left-hand side of your driver's side mirror and on the right-hand side of your passenger side mirror. I am going to mention the GT1 package again, because if you did opt for the GT1 package, you would get side view mirror memory that would also include driver seat memory, so it would memorize your side view mirrors as well. It would also give you a camera on the bottom of both of your side view mirrors that, again, works with your 360 camera system, and then that would also give you power folding side view mirrors as well. Just something I thought I'd point out. Again, this one has not been optioned with the GT1 package. But now here's a little side profile shot of the K5 GT. Again, I really like the white paint matched to all the gloss black accents that you get as standard with the GT trim level. I think it looks very, very sporty, and it adds to the Stormtrooper theme of this vehicle. But as standard with the GT, you get a panoramic roof, which basically gives you a black roof. It looks awesome. So it's kind of like you have a black painted roof. However, this entire piece opens up and gives you a massive view from the interior when that sunroof is open. And then coming down, you get the satin chrome window trim at the top of your windows. Then you get satin black window trim at the bottom of the windows. You get body color door handles with keyless access and illumination, which is always very, very nice. And then I also like the body lines that you get on the door at the top and then also here at the bottom with that aggressive line. And then you get rather subdued side skirts here. I would have liked them to be just a little bit more aggressive, but again, this is not necessarily supposed to be a sports sedan. It's supposed to be a sporty sedan, if that makes sense. But then coming around to the back, you get a gloss black shark fin antenna up top here, as well as on your C-pillar. You can see that satin chrome trim runs all the way through here, and it actually goes all the way down and around to that side of your vehicle as well. And then coming down here, opening this up, this is where you will find your fuel door. I do have to unlock the vehicle in order to get access into the fuel door, which is actually a very nice safety feature. So opening that up, you do not get a capless filler neck. However, 87 octane will do you just fine, and you can put 93 in this as well if you wanted to. It might be unnecessary, might give you a little bit more power, not quite sure on that. And then you also get a 15.8 gallon fuel tank as well. Coming down, this is what your wheels look like, and then that's also your brakes back here as well with that red GT script. Now let's do a little rear 3/4 shot of this thing. Again, you get that GT specific rear bumper that looks very, very sporty and nice. Obviously, this is a sedan, so you do get a rear window defroster back here. You get that gloss black trim piece right here, satin chrome trim piece, and then also with the GT, you get this gloss black rear deck lid spoiler. Try to give you a view of what that looks like back here. And then also, as standard with the GT, you get LED combination taillights, and then at the center of your taillights you have your Kia logo. Then you also have your backup camera, and the button to the right of the backup camera is to open up your trunk, which I'll do here in a second. And then last but not least, on your trunk you get your silver badging with the Kia badging, the K5 badging, and your GT badging with that black GT script. But again, to open up the trunk, just make sure you have your key fob in the in your pocket if you do have the vehicle locked. Press on that button and boom, that thing will come right up. A couple options that this vehicle has back here include the $175 carpeted floor mats, which is what these are right here. I'm trying to see if I can't move that out of the way. It says, whatever that says, I'm not sure. Anyways, K5 is what it says. And then the other option that we have back here includes the $55 cargo net, which is up right now at the moment. And then if you wanted to get access into your spare tire, you'd have to open this piece up. It's kind of a pain in the rear end just a little bit, but it is not a full-size spare tire, but it is like a smaller spare tire. And then also, if you wanted to drop your second row seats, you'd pull on this right here, and then all you would have to do would basically be push that seat forward, and then the second row seats would drop. I could say you could probably fit maybe 4 to 6 carry-on suitcases back here. It is a respectable trunk size considering the size of this sedan. And then coming down just a little bit, we're going to take a look at the rest of the rear end. Again, with the GT, you get that aggressive rear bumper with the gloss black accents right here. Again, you get that aggressive body line, and then the valance back here is also gloss black as well. And then again, coming back to the center, you get 2 reflectors, 1 on each side. You get a quad tip exhaust system. You also get a aggressive lower rear valance here that is like a black chrome. Here's a closer look at what that looks like right there. And then also, if you wanted, I'm going to mention this again, with the GT1 package, at least back here, you would get rear parking sensors as well as the reverse collision avoidance system. So might be an option you might want to look into getting, but again, love the way the GT looks, love all the gloss black accents. It's a very sporty looking sedan, definitely a fan of it. But let me know what your thoughts are on the GT in the comments down below. Do you like it? Do you not like it? I will get into the price here in a few minutes. However, I do think this is worth every single penny because it is very nice looking on the exterior, very nice driving, and I think it'll surprise you just how powerful it feels when you get this thing on the road. But with all that stuff said, let's move into performance. Popping open that hood reveals that GT specific 2.5 liter turbo 4-cylinder that makes 290 horsepower and 311 pound-feet of torque. It is mated to an 8-speed dual clutch transmission for a 0 to 60 time in 5.2 seconds. If you were wondering about fuel economy, you can achieve 24 miles per gallon in the city, 32 miles per gallon on the highway for 27 miles per gallon combined with front wheel drive only. So you cannot get the GT trim level in all-wheel drive, which doesn't really make sense to me because I've gotten on this thing a couple times now, and you know, once it gets to about 2,500, 3,500 RPM, it starts to spin the front tires, which is a lot of fun. However, if you're trying to do, you know, 0 to 60 pulls, or, you know, race somebody off the line at a stoplight light, which I don't recommend doing, wink, wink, it just spins. You might need to put a little bit better tires on it. However, it is fun to spin out a little bit. But if you want to do like 0 to 60 digs and stuff like that, I think they should put all-wheel drive on the GT trim level. Just my personal opinion. But if you're enjoying the video so far today, please be sure to give this video a big thumbs up. Please hit that subscribe button. I'm on my journey to 100,000 subscribers, and I cannot get there without your support. So if you've enjoyed this video in any sort of capacity, please take a second, give it a thumbs up, leave a comment, let me know what you think of the front-wheel drive versus all-wheel drive, and also please hit that subscribe button. But with that stuff out of the way, let's move into the interior. Moving on into the interior, like I mentioned a little bit ago in the video, you do get keyless access. So all you got to do is have your key fob in your pocket, walk up to the vehicle, press on this button right here, and the vehicle will unlock. You can also lock the vehicle by pressing that same button, and now the vehicle is locked. You do get remote start as standard with the GT. So to remote start the vehicle, press the lock button, press and hold on this button, and the vehicle will fire up. Now, to walk you through a couple of the functions on the key fob, starting from the top, you have your lock function, unlock function, you have your trunk function, and your panic function all the way at the bottom. And then on this side, you have your remote start function. But now let's take a look at what the driver's side door panel has to offer here on the K5. So starting at the top, you get some vinyl wrapping. You get a satin silver looking door handle. Then you get some gray trim, some more of that satin silver trim coming down just a little bit. I'm not sure if this is the same material used on the seats, but the interior is called black Syntex upholstery with red accents. So I'm wondering if this is the same Syntex material. I would assume that it probably is. Red accent colored stitching. You get a nicely padded armrest. Coming over here, here are your side view mirror controls. You have your unlock and your lock functions, and then you have a up and down automatic driver window. None of the other windows are automatic up or down. Then you got a spot right here to restrict your passenger window privileges, and then some miscellaneous storage space at the bottom of your door panel. Speaker right here. You get a power adjustable front driver seat, but you get a manually adjustable front passenger seat. These are the sport bucket seats with the GT. You can see the GT on your seat right there. It looks very, very nice. You get the red accent colored stitching, the red accent colored piping, and you also do get power lumbar, by the way, as well. But now stepping on into the interior, let's see what the interior has to offer on this K5. So if you wanted to turn the vehicle on, you got to push your foot on the brake and then push to start. And that is what it sounds like when it fires up. But basically what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start over here, walk you through all the controls, and then basically go into the rear seats and see what kind of room I got in the back. So coming over to here, that's to dim your gauge cluster, that's to brighten your gauge cluster, this is to turn your lane keeping system on or off, that's to turn your traction control system on or off, that is to pop open your trunk. Flipping this thing down right here on your steering column gives you access into your manual tilting and telescoping steering wheel, so you can bring the steering wheel towards you, you can push the steering wheel away from you, and then you can also move the steering wheel up and down until you find your comfortable position. But now I want to show you what the turn signal sounds like, so let's take a listen to that. That is what the turn signal sounds like on the K5, and then zooming back out. You do get a GT specific sport design wheel with integrated paddle shifters, upshift paddle on the right, downshift paddle on the left. You get a flat bottom design steering wheel with the GT at the bottom, and just like any other steering wheel, you have your horn at the center. So let's take a listen to it. That is what the horn sounds like on the K5, but I'm kind of jumping the gun a little bit because I want to talk about this turn signal stock first. So flipping this all the way down turns your headlights in the off position. Coming up one is headlights in the automatic position. That's your parking lights on, and then all the way up is headlights in the always on position. And then flipping that down, fog lights off, flipping that up, fog lights back on. And then if you flick that forward, that is going to turn your automatic high beams on or off. I like to leave it in automatic personally. And then you have your windshield wiper control stock on the right hand side of your steering column. But again, this is what the steering wheel looks like. Pressing on that button is to speak to the vehicle. This mode button is configurable, so when you press on that mode button, it pops up this screen on your infotainment system, and basically you can select from any one of these options. So when you press that mode button, it's either going to bring you into your Sirius XM, your AM, your FM, USB music, sounds of nature, phone projection, or Bluetooth audio. So again, when clicking that mode button, it can bring you into only one of these, but any of these different things here on that screen. That's a very cool cool configurable button that I like that Kia does that. That's very, very nice. But anyways, coming over here, you have your volume controls, and then these controls here that's either to go forward on a track, or you can go backwards on a track, or you can come into here and it's going to either change the station or the frequency with that button. So you can either have it switch between your different songs or your preset radio stations, or you can have it change your radio frequency. Pretty cool. And then coming over to here, when you press on this phone button, basically what happens is that it brings you into your phone screen on your infotainment system, and that's also going to pick up on a phone call, and then that is going to hang up on a phone call. And then coming over to here, you can see that thing right there, those two little boxes. That's basically to control this productivity screen, as is like this control right here. Then these controls are for your cruise control system. This does not get adaptive or smart cruise control, as Kia calls it. You do have to get the GT1 package in order to get the smart cruise control. And basically this steering wheel button right here, when you click it when you're on a highway with lines that the vehicle can see, it's basically going to steer the wheel. That's essentially what that button does right there. But again, clicking on these buttons going to bring you into your oil temp, your torque, your turbo PSI, you got your fuel economy stuff, you got your compass, then you got your driver assistance stuff, your digital speedometer readout. But bouncing back over here to this screen, again, this okay with the up and the down arrow, which is what this control is right here, is going to bring you in between your fuel economy stuff, your accumulated info, and or your drive info. Basically, one more thing I wanted to show you was on your this screen right here, you can also go into your attention level, and then clicking this one more time, bouncing down, you can see your tire pressure stuff, but you do have to be driving in order for it to display that. But basically, if this was my vehicle, I'd have the digital speedometer readout at all times, because this is the screen that I would just, want my K5 on. But again, that's personal preference. On the left hand side, you got your tachometer, you got your coolant temperature gauge. On the right hand side, you have your speedometer and your fuel gauge. And then on your productivity screen on the upper left hand side, you got your transmission status stuff. At the center, you have your fuel range. And then down here, you got the ambient exterior temperature and your odometer. Just so happens to be both 78 degrees and 78 miles on this vehicle. Kind of funny. And then up top here, you get some satin black plastic, and then kind of like a vinyl wrapping over there. You get an HVAC vent. You basically get 4 HVAC vents on the dash. That is your push button start button. And then coming over to here, this is your 10.25-inch infotainment system with built-in navigation and wired Apple CarPlay and wired Android Auto connectivity. I want to show you what the home screen looks like. So basically, this is like the home screen. You can see the date, the time, the music that's playing, and you also have your navigation stuff subtly over here. To get to the next page, you just swipe to the right, and then that brings you into this page. You can see you got your time, you got your date, letting you know that I am connected to Bluetooth audio. Then you got your map, valet mode, HD radio, you got your radio, media, Kia Connect. You can bring up your climate control stuff on this screen if you wanted to as well. Give it a second. Right now the climate control system is off. If I did turn the climate control system back on, I guess it looks pretty much the same, but I'm going to turn that back off, back into the home screen. You get your home button up top there. And then phone projection, again, you get wired Apple CarPlay and wired Android Auto, so it wants you to use an approved USB cable. And then again, you also get built-in navigation, so I'll show you that. That is what your navigation screen looks like. Personally, for me, I like to use Waze, so I would just bring a USB cable. And then one thing that's also pretty cool is that, let's say you need to go into a vehicle setting, but you don't know where to find it. Literally, all you have to do is you see this magnifying glass right here. You can type in, let's say driver assistance, right? And then it's going to bring up your driver assistance stuff. So very, very easy to find stuff on this screen as long as you can type it in. Very, very nice to go throughout your different settings and stuff like that. And then you also get like a physical map button over here, a navigation button for your point of interest stuff. You can see this star that's not filled in. That's basically another one of these mode buttons. So you can, set this button whatever you want. So basically right now it's not set to anything. You can have it set to go into your HD radio data. You can have it set to go in your phone projection, Kia Connect, display on or off, phone stuff, driver assistance settings, your home button. That could be your home button if you wanted it to be. It could be your Bluetooth audio button if you wanted it to be. So again, that's another configurable button right there, and I really like how Kia does that. It makes it very nice, and it's like you can choose whatever button you want to be right there. Obviously you do have a list of options to choose from, but I don't know, something that like that I personally like. And then you also get your radio, media, seek, track, and your different setup buttons over here as well. Coming down a little bit, 2 HVAC vents. You got your hazard button right there. I like how the hazard button actually flashes with the hazards. Dual zone climate control comes standard with the K5 GT. And I'll show you what it looks like down here when it is on. You can see it displays the fan speed and the temperatures and everything else that it displays. And then coming down here, you get a USB-A port. You get another USB-A port, and then you also get a 12-volt power outlet to the left of both of those. You get a little bit of storage space down here for a phone if you wanted to. I have an iPhone 14 Pro Max and it fits right there. And then coming back just a little bit, this is what your gear shift selector looks like. It actually is very nice to rest your hand on as you're driving. It's very nice to grab onto. And if you wanted to go into manual mode, put yourself in drive, flip that over to the left, and now you can control the dual clutch transmission with the steering wheel mounted paddle shifters, which is pretty cool. Back into park anyways, you get 2 cup holders, electronic parking brake. Auto hold is basically a feature that if you're stuck in traffic, tired of holding your foot down on your brake by yourself, you can press that button and the vehicle will hold you in place by itself with its braking system. You also get heated front seats as standard with the GT, both with 3 levels of adjustability, as you can see right there. And then in the middle of the 2 heated seat controls, you have this drive mode selector. So you get 4 drive modes. You get normal, sport, sport plus, and custom. You can set custom mode to your liking. And then also as standard with the GT trim level, you get a wireless charging pad. So this is what your wireless charging pad, you basically set your phone down in there, and then your phone will wirelessly charge. It's pretty cool. And then coming back over to here, you get another USB-A port and a decent amount of storage space down in this center console. I would have liked to see a USB-C port, but yeah, no USB-C ports so far. You also get a nicely padded armrest with some red accent colored stitching. I love all the different red elements that you get with the GT trim level. It just adds to the sporty appearance on the interior of their sporty trim level. So very, very nice. And then coming over to here, you do not get a lockable lower glove box, but you do get a glove box with a decent amount of space. You can still fit some napkins and maybe some snacks over here. But yeah, not that much space in your glove box. Then you get a standard rear view mirror up top here. You get your Kia Connect stuff. Basically, these are your different support buttons. God forbid you need to use this one. But anyways, coming up, let's let you know if your passenger airbag is on or off. Driver gets a light, passenger gets a light, both of which are LED. To turn them on individually, you just press them. Basically kind of like touch screen lights. And then this is basically your light settings, whether you want the lights to turn on when you open the doors or not. And then also as standard with the GT trim level, you get a panoramic roof. I'll show you what that looks like. This is how far it opens up with just the shade. And then if you wanted the sunroof to open up, you pull back on that and then the sunroof will open up. Right now it's tilting. And then I'll show you, this sunroof goes very, very far back. It looks very, very nice. And when the sunroof is open, it looks pretty sick from the outside as well. I know that doesn't really matter, but it does. I'll show you what that looks like now. And then opening this up, you get a vanity mirror that is massive, by the way. And then you also get a vanity light. I wish that vanity light was LED, but it is what it is. And then you got a spot right here. You can set a paper product like, you got right there right now. And then these visors also do come out as well, which is very nice when the sun is in those awkward positions. Driver gets a no poop handle. The front passenger also gets an no poop handle. And a couple things that I wanted to go over before we get into those rear seats. Basically, as standard with the GT, you get the sport design wheel with the paddle shifters, the heated front bucket seats, and the panoramic roof. You also get the wireless charging pad, the dual zone climate control system, and 4 drive modes. Again, I am going to mention the GT1 package for $4,200, and what you get with that, I'm just going to highlight a couple of them. You get the power front passenger seat with power lumbar. You also get the heated steering wheel. You also get smart cruise control with stop and go. You get the driver seat memory. You get a 12-speaker Bose sound system, which probably sounds pretty good. Then you get a 360-degree view camera system, ventilated front seats, and everything else you can read on screen right now. Now I'm going to throw the entire window sticker on screen. You can take a look at whatever you want to, the couple different options that this vehicle has, or you can take a look at all the standard stuff, fuel economy stuff, warranty stuff, whatever you want to. But basically, I'm just going to highlight the MSRP. So the MSRP of the way that this particular 2024 Kia K5 GT is spec'd is $33,590. I think this is a really good deal. Reason being is that it actually drives very nicely. It's very, very peppy, and I think it looks very good as well. And it's also just very comfortable here on the interior. So very, very nice. I do wish it had wireless Apple CarPlay and wireless Android Auto, as well as a couple of USB-C ports, but it is what it is. Now I want to show you what the rear seats look like. So let's take a look at what we got going on here in the rear. So taking a look at our door panel back here, vinyl wrapping, you get some more of that syntax material with that red accent colored stitching. Let's see how far these windows go down. So you can see they go nearly all the way down, but not quite. You get a nicely padded armrest, very minimal storage space down in here. Maybe you could set a Deer Park water bottle in there. And then this is what the seats look like back here. You get some more of that red accent colored stitching. But let's step on into these rear seats and let's see what the seating position is like for somebody who is 5'9". So I am adjusted behind myself, and I'm actually very surprised at all the leg room that I have and the knee room. Take a look at that. Here's another view of what that looks like here as well. Tons and tons of leg and knee room. Then you get a seat back pocket behind the driver's seat. You get a seat back pocket behind the passenger seat. You get 2 HVAC vents, 2 USB-A ports down there. You get an O-poop handle, a spot you can set your dry cleaning, and an LED light over here. You get the same stuff over there as well. Again, I'm just so surprised by all the legroom in the knee room that I have. Again, I am adjusted behind myself, so tons and tons of room back here. I can honestly extend my legs further back than I definitely would have expected. And then the seat comfort themselves, very, very comfortable. I really like my seating position. And then also, this is what it looks like out the front. Opening this up, you get 2 cup holders and a nicely padded armrest. And one more thing, I probably still have another 2 to 3 inches of headroom. If I slouched a little bit, I'd probably get, you know, another 4 to 6 inches of headroom. So I think this is a very good value at $33,500. I really don't know how much better you can get, or how much more fun of a vehicle you can get that's, you know, good, it's reliable, looks good, it's comfortable, and pretty much gives you all the features that you want. Again, I think this is a really good deal. If you want to splurge a little bit and spend, you know, just under 40 grand, you might want to look into getting the GT1 package, but I think this one is pretty nice the way that it is. My personal opinion, you can do whatever you want. But, you know, we've talked about the exterior, we've talked about the performance, and now we've talked about what's going on here in the interior. So I want to see what this thing's like to drive, as I'm assuming you guys do as well. So I'll see you guys in the driver's seat. All right, and now onto the driving portion of the video. So what I'm going to do is, because this is the GT trim level, I'm going to put us in Sport Plus mode and in manual mode so I can control the transmission with the steering wheel mounted paddle shifters. Again, as standard with the GT trim level, or what you get with the GT trim level, includes an 8-speed dual clutch transmission. So you do feel a little bit of the engagement with the dual clutch, so watch this. Definitely behaves like a dual clutch, and that is definitely a good thing, because when I first got into this thing, I was like, why does this thing feel like a dual clutch? And, you know, I very quickly glossed over the window sticker, and I saw that it said it had an 8-speed automatic transmission, but the 8-speed automatic transmission is what you get with the GT line, and when you get the GT trim level, you get the 8-speed dual clutch transmission, which is very, very nice, and it has very, very quick shifting abilities, and very, very good power. I do wish that this could have come with all-wheel drive, even if it was an option, because you'll see here in a minute when I get on it, it does like to spin. So watch this. See what I'm saying? It's got so much power that it loves to spin, and it's almost got too much power for the front wheel drive system. Now watch the paddle shifter response. Very, very good upshifts and downshifts. Now I'm going to do one more little acceleration going back the other way, showing you the paddle shifter response. So let's also see the turning radius. Very good turning radius. Here's the paddle shifter response. it shifts very aggressively. It has a very, very quick paddle shifter response. Shifts are very aggressive, which I love. I always love that on especially like a sporty vehicle. And power really starts to build at about 2,500 to 3,000 RPMs. I mean, it really starts to build. You can feel the torque kick in, and then you can also feel it build that power. So very good power. I was actually pleasantly surprised by how much power this thing has. Here's another acceleration. I know the power figures may not suggest that it has the most power. Now I'm gonna just throw it back into normal mode. I know, like, reading off those power figures, you know, almost 300 horsepower and over 300 pound-feet of torque may not seem all that crazy in today's day and age, but really, if you get behind the wheel of this thing and you feel this thing drive and you feel this thing build power, yeah, you'll be surprised by just how powerful this thing feels to drive, or when you drive it. I mean, it's just, it honestly is a blast to drive, and I was very surprised just with how powerful that it felt. That was something that I noticed right off the bat when I first got on it. I was like, oh my gosh, this thing is very powerful. Here. Very quick, very quick acceleration. I mean, this is nothing to laugh at. It's got some serious kick to it. I mean, it's got some serious get up and go. The dual clutch transmission is awesome. The way that it drives is great. And even with the sport tuned suspension, it's not like super firm, which is something that I really like. You know, it's very firm in the sense that it goes around turns very nicely. But when it comes to like hitting bumps like this, let's hit it. It soaks them up very nicely. So it is just the best of both worlds. Here you go. I'm telling you, this thing is very peppy. Very peppy. And downshift, paddle shifter response is great, man. I'm telling you guys, for $33,000, I don't know what's better than this at this price point. And I'm being totally serious, because I think this was one of the most fun and quickest and most smooth shifting, quickest shifting sedans that I've driven for the price point. I mean, I'm telling you, seriously, it is very quick, very quick. And it is honestly a blast to drive with the paddle shifter response being so quick. You know, I just did a video the other day with a Golf GTI, a Mark 8, and this thing is quicker than that, for sure. It feels quicker. It's got the same, you know, paddle shifter response as the Golf GTI. The Golf GTI I did a video with, this was a DSG, which is the dual clutch transmission in that. And they're both a blast to drive, but this thing is definitely more fun to drive. And after driving this, I think I'd rather have this, because it's got 4 seats. It's just a little bit configured a little bit differently. I know the Golf also has 4 seats. But man, just because of the power of this thing, it's so much fun to drive. I love the way that it looks. I really enjoy the way that it drives, and the sound system is also pretty good as well. One other thing I wanted to say is that this also has lead vehicle alert. So let's say you're at a stoplight, you're not paying total attention, and the cars in front of you start to move. This thing will give you a little auditory bleep, and it'll say lead vehicle has moved, which is very nice. You know, if you're stuck on your phone at a light and you're paying attention more to your phone, which you shouldn't be, but you're stuck at a light and you just, you know, get lost in your phone and the vehicle ahead of you has moved, it's going to let you know that the vehicle ahead of you has moved. It's a very nice safety feature. If you want adaptive cruise control, as Kia calls it, smart cruise control with stop and go, you're going to want to look into getting the GT1 package. This one has not been optioned with the GT1 package, so you just have standard cruise control. But really, you don't necessarily need that, and it is a pricey option at over $4,000, so you don't need it. If you want it, get it. If you don't necessarily need everything that you get with the GT1 package, then you can skip that as an option. But overall, this is a very great daily driver because it's got plenty of pep. It's great to carve through traffic, and it also gets very good fuel economy as well, and it's just a very comfortable ride. Sound system could be better, but that's where the GT1 package comes in. It gives you a 12-speaker Bose sound system. This sound system is still good, but it's not a Bose sound system, and I'll leave it at that. But I want to show you, before we end out today's video, the lead vehicle alert system. Lead vehicle is driving away. Listen. and this thing actually sounds pretty good as well. But that's it for today's video. If you guys did enjoy the video, please be sure to give this video a big thumbs up. Please hit that subscribe button. I'm on my journey to 100,000 subscribers, and I cannot get there without your support. So if you enjoyed this video, please take a second out of your day, give it a thumbs up. Let me know what you think of this vehicle in the comments down below, and hit that subscribe button. But again, that's it for today's video. I will catch you all in the next one. Peace.